All right, this week on Camera Talk, no Dylan.
Whatever!
That's right. That's intentional. And why is that? Because what did we do last week? Oh, we looked at Topcor, RE Auto Topcor, 58mm 1.4. But this week, we've got Topcor, 58mm 1.4. Wait a second, that's two of them.
What the fuck?
Well, last week we looked at the lens. This week I've got a little brother. Well, it's not little, it's an identical twin brother. But this one's got a little issue on the inside of the lens here that needs some surgery. So Dr. Scott's gonna go into the surgery room and take this sucker apart, and you're coming with me.
No! No!
That's right. We're gonna find out how easy it is to take one of these things apart and how easy it is to give it a CLA, all right? Let's get that smudgy stuff off the inside of this lens element here.
Ew!
And see if we can make it sparkly new all over again. So grab yourself something to eat or drink. Get yourself comfortable.
Legend!
And let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Raining's always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. And normally with Dylan. Who's out there not in here? Why is he not in here? Just as I said in the intro, this week what we're going to be doing is, if you remember last week, Dylan and I went through an introduction to our RE Auto Topcor Tokyo Kogaku 58mm 1.4. Well, this week I have one of its little brothers, and I say little brothers as in it's an identical twin to the first one that we introduced last week, but this one's a newer model. And newer, by that I mean this one was from 1963, this one's from 1965. It's 2 years newer than this one. So obviously still an old lens. That's calling myself old since that's the year of my birth, 1965.
Aww.
But it's almost identical, not quite. I mean, the optics are the same and whatnot, but there are some differences. You know, physically, if I hold them up side by side, again, just looking at them, they look identical, but
Like big butts, and I cannot lie.
the range, and the range markings on the focus tab are different with the 1965 one versus the 1963. The 1965 one is only done in imperial system, feet. So 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 15, 30, and infinity feet. This one, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 15, 30 feet, but also right underneath it has meters. 1, 1.5, or 1.2, 1.5, 2, 3, 5, and 10. And then infinity. And then the word meter.
The metric marvels, Meter Man, Liter, Super Celsius, and Wondergram.
Other than that, everything is pretty identical, sort of. Oh no! Now that I look at it a little closer too, the aperture ring, as much as it's 1.4, 2, 2.8, 4, 5.6. In the 1963 one, the point is actually a point. As in a period, as in a decimal point. On the 1965 one, it's a comma. 1 point, yeah, 1.4, 2.8, 5.6, or actually 1 comma 4, 2 comma 8, 5 comma 6. Go figure.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean, Basil?
Let's see on the front. I never actually went through to see if they're identical on the front too. Yeah, on the front they're the same. All right, so all the writing is the same because I know in the earlier, oh no, wait, spotted another difference. The 1963 one is 5.8 centimeters. But even the points are again comma, not a point. So it's funny, on the aperture ring they're points, but on the faceplate it's 5.8 centimeters. And of course everybody knows in metric you just move the decimal point over, and 5.8 centimeters becomes 58 millimeters, which it is on the newer one here.
Holy shit.
So, and of course there's a big difference in the serial number. You know, this one is 1,124,421. This one is 11,228,200. So again, years apart, but the older one is a much cleaner model than the newer one that I have here. So I'm going to take this sucker apart, and I'm going to clean up that. I mean, even just looking at it from here, I can see that there's stuff, fingerprinty, smudgy stuff on the inside of the lens.
That's disgusting.
So I'm going to clean that up, and you're going to be with me the whole time I'm doing it. So with that said, we have to move over to the operating table so that Dr. Scott can get his all his tools and instruments in place, and we're going to go to do a little surgery on this Topcor 58 millimeter, and we're going to turn it into something that it deserves to be, which is a sparkly, best as it can be, best in show piece of glass. Because the Topcor RE Auto Topcor 58 millimeter 1.4 is the crown jewel of the Topcor collection. This is the one everybody wants, and I've got 2 of them.
You suck!
Anyway, I'm going to go over to the surgery table and get to work on this thing. So, as I said in the intro, get yourself something to eat or drink. Throw an extra log on the fire.
Talk it up, man.
Throw an extra something in the mix for yourself.
It's not really.
And sit back and watch me work. All right, so I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so here we are sitting at the operating table. Got all my utensils, I think everything I need, and of course, just when you always think you're prepared, there's always something else you probably haven't remembered to prepare. But anyway, we'll do the best we can. So as already mentioned, I am going to operate on my patient here. This is the RE Auto Topcor 58 millimeter 1.4, and you know, again, it's a famous lens. It's quite popular in the vintage lens world, and I'm gonna try to, because it's got some fog in there on the main element, on the front element anyway. So I need to take this thing apart. Now, one of the beauties of again operating on vintage lenses is the fact that they're, you know, mechanically kind of pretty easy to work with. I mean, it's not like you need a great amount of, you know, experience with them. You know, I'd recommend using kind of a cheapy one you bought for like $5 or $10. Take it apart, put it back together, and see how you did, kind of thing. Before you get into some popular or expensive, really expensive ones. The first thing when it comes to taking these things apart, especially just getting at the glass elements, is different. Obviously, if you're going to be working in the mechanics inside, the helioids and whatnot are a whole different ballgame. And I'm not going to do that today because they're fine. I mean, the aperture, opens and closes without any issue at all. The focus ring, again, turns without any kind of issue at all. So I'm fine with that. But it's basically the, as I said, it's basically the glass that needs some tender loving care, some TLC.
It's good to be the king.
So first thing we need to do is take off the nameplate. This ring around the outside that has the actual writing on it, the name of the lens. Now I went and bought myself a bag of silicone stoppers. I think they were called. I forget the name of these things. But anyway, they're just big giant rubber rings from various sizes, down to the tiniest little ones like this. And so forth and so on, because they'll match various size lenses that you'll have. And because I have so many vintage lenses, this collection here pretty much covers my needs. So it was relatively, excuse me, relatively economical. I forget what I paid for these things. Maybe $5. Now, of course, back in the West, in the U.S. or Canada or somewhere else, they may be a bit more expensive. But here in Vietnam, things are relatively economical. So before I started this video, I found the size I needed that sits. So the rubber, because you don't want to obviously be pressing rubber into your glass. So you want the rubber just to match the diameter of the barrel itself. And it's basically a twist, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So I turn this thing to the left until it's coming off, and it's got a number of threads to get through. So there we go, it's getting closer to the top. All right, so we're at the top now. All right, so I don't need that anymore. Use my fingers to get in there and unscrew the rest of the way off.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Come on. I'll get my fingers on the edge of it so I can turn it better. There we go. So, all right, so now it's off. Now the one thing you always want to do when you're taking something like this apart is always lay it out in the order to which you've taken it off, and then you can put it back in the same order. So I'm going to line up everything on this side over here, so I put it back in the opposite way. So I'm reverse engineering it. So let me put my little gloves on, because I don't want to get any fingerprints or any of the oils from my skin onto the glass, because then that's just more stuff to have to clean off, isn't it? So let me put these gloves on. All right, now what's a doctor doing surgery without gloves, right?
Doctor?
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 All right, so there's a retaining ring inside the barrel, and it's pretty tough to see there, but it's right around the outside. It's very thin, and there's two. Where are they? I can't see them from here. Oh, there they are. There's one here, and there's one here. And basically, obviously, you're not going to be able to grab these with your hands. So they have this a spanner wrench, and it's designed for these lenses. And I've lost. Hold on, I've lost one of the screws in here. Hold on a second. Okay, it was actually in the bag. Here I am going through the drawer, digging up everything to get in here. So this little screw needs to sit in here. All right, so right now I've got some flathead, like, which are not going to work for me, so I'm going to have to take these off. Get rid of that, and replace them with my my pinhead ones here. So I'll put that one back in the bag. Get this one out. Of course, these things are quite pointy, very sharp. So, all right, put those over there. I don't need those. So I'm gonna insert each one of these in here. The retaining screw, hold it in place so it doesn't go anywhere, and remove the rubber tips on them. And now the sneaky part of getting them lined up with, again, let me screw this in so it's tight here, and this one so it's tight here. All right, now this one's steady, this one's tight. All right, now let me turn it so that I get a good visibility on here. All right, so I'll put this one in this side, this one in that side, so they're snug. All right, now I'm going to screw this tight, screw this one tight, and again I'm going to now unscrew, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. All right, the best thing to do is just spin the, hold it steady, because you don't want to damage anything, and you definitely don't want to scratch your glass. So this hand should be steady, and just use your other hand to turn the screw. All right, let's see if that did the job. This thing should pop right out if it did. Maybe a little bit more. So again, make sure the points are in the little divots, little hole, and again, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So again, unscrewing the retainer ring. All right, let's see if that did it. It's almost coming out. It's still not. There we go. All right, so there's our first element is the front element that comes out. Now the back element, I am not really interested in taking that out, but I could remove it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that one alone because it's now, just to be sure. Wait for me 1 second. Let me grab my flashlight.
What are you waiting for, huh?
So again, I'm looking at the front element, and yeah, there's definitely stuff on the front element. I want to get in there on that one. The back element is, well, that could be on the outside too. Hang on, let me see. Let me see if I can clean off the back element a little bit here. Let's see if that's internal or external. Yeah, that's external. So yeah, my back element is fine. So I'm not going to worry about that. So it's the front element here that has the has the issues. Now everything screws together. So again, I just twisted it, and now I can take apart the optical group here. And first thing is another retaining ring. So again, put that in order. So it goes back in order in which it came. And there is the element to which, wow, did I just do that, or did it come broken like that? Wow, that actually chipped a piece off of the very edge.
Get the fuck out of here.
Can you see it from there? Yeah, look at that, see? Look at that chip right there. Hey, yeah. Geez, Dr. Scott, aren't you violent? Go busting up your lens like that? Yeah, see, here's the little piece of glass right here. I have to suspect that was that was a little crack, because I didn't even hit it that hard. All I did was tap it on my hand.
Whatever.
So, wow, is all I can say about that.
It actually really, really sucks.
Anyway, is this the element that's dirty? It could handle a little cleaning, but let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like this is the element. This is the one that's the suspected dirty guy. All right, so what I'm going to do is, first off, move these little pieces of glass out of here. It's not like I want to put those back in the assembly. So anyhow, wow, I've never had that happen before. And again, putting them in order that they came out, because you want them to go back in the same order in which they came out. So with that said, let me clean. Now what I have here is isopropyl alcohol, and it's one of the best cleaners that we have out there as far as gently cleaning things. So I'm going to pour a little bit of that in this bowl here. Don't need a lot, so I'll put that away. Now, one of the other things too, even though I'm not doing this now, if I needed to clean my aperture ring, not aperture ring, the aperture blades, this stuff is fantastic for that. This is a WD-40. It's called contact cleaner. You just give it a spray in there. Obviously not indoors. Take it outside, and man, it evaporates that oil right off of there. It's great stuff. All right, so also I also like to use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, just to get an extra little element of cleaning in there. So the combination of hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, do a world of wonders. So now I'm just going to spread that around on the lens itself. Now I could take this apart even further, but I may be able to just clean it from the outside here, and then that saves me having the headache of having to do so internally. And you can see the Q-tip here getting a little dark. So obviously it's picking up something that was I would consider dirty on that lens. It's a dirty lens.
You are a dirty girl.
All right. And then on the underside, why not? Since we've got the unit out here, let's give it a bit of a clean as well, just in case there was some fungus spores or anything else out there waiting to get in the right condition to do some damage. Alright, so let me put that aside. Grab my flashlight, see how it's, yeah. Okay. Now give it a little polish. Get off any residues. Nothing worse than residue. A little polish on the inside as well. And then give it another flashlight test to see how well that cleaned up. Okay. Oh yeah, looking much nicer. It's again that fog or that haze has disappeared. Now let me grab my air blower, which I should have had out here in the first place, just to make sure there's no leftover stuff that I don't want on my lens. I put that over here. Another quickie flashlight test. All right, looking good. All right, yeah. I mean, you can't really see that, but it's gotten rid of that fog anyway. So I'll keep that like this. And as I said, this front element actually looks pretty good. I mean, it's besides that chunk of glass missing out of it. But well, since I have it out here, let me give it a bit of a polish with this, and I may not even need to. May not even need to do the isopropyl alcohol or the hydrogen peroxide on this one. And the front element is obviously an important element as well, since it is your last line of defense, so to speak. I still can't believe that thing chipped off like that.
Kind of cringe level where your sphincter pucker is kind of horrible.
Hardly even tap that into my hand. Oh yeah, that thing's like pristine. Very nice. And again, you can't tell from there, but very nice. All right. Wow. Well, that was that. As I said, it's like wow, I can't believe how well that came out like this. All right, so let me put the glass back, or put the element back where I got it from. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Now there was a little piece of hair or something in there. Did I get it? Yeah, okay. Good. All right, so I put that back. Now this ring, again, goes on top here, and that is what holds the front element into the assembly itself, into that front assembly. And since I don't want to damage anything, oh, it's hard to get that thread back on. Holy moly. All right, there we go. Talk about give me a hard time. All right, so screw that back in. Okay. Wow, that was quite an adventure. You know, with the chip coming out like that. Wow, that's really a shame that would happen. But then again, this lens is the same age as me, and I tend to chip and fall apart once in a while myself.
At least we're not fucking idiots.
So anyway, that is the front element, and now let me get it back in here without. Well, since I have gloves on, I can touch the front element here. Yeah, let me get it back into position this way, so that now it's going to be the opposite. It's going to screw back in. As long as I've got the screws lined up properly, or the screw lined up properly, which I do not. So let me take that back out again. Hold on. I'm gonna have to do the reverse of what I just did. Since I cross-threaded, I'm gonna pull that back out. I'm gonna pull the lens back out. And now the front element itself has to come back out because it did not, there we go, it did not sit in there properly. All right, so let me put it back this way since I've got it back in that position. I shall just reverse it from here. All right, so there is the lens back in place, and good, no marks or anything on it. I'm still disappointed by that chip. Yeah.
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard!
Good thing this isn't a brand new lens, or I'd be complaining to the people at Topcor. What are you doing, selling me a lens with such brittle glass in it that it falls apart when I just tap it out on my hand like that. So anyway, so a word of the wise out there: be gentle. Be gentle when you're handling your top cores, as they may end up much more brittle than you suspect that they are. So again, hold on while I screw the optical assembly back into its place. All right, getting snug, and the top ring also spinning in place until it is snug. All right, and now I can reverse by finding my 2 pins here, and remember, righty-tighty. So now I'm doing the opposite of how I put it on in the first place. Now let me loosen these and tighten them up just a little bit so I've got a better grip on this. All right. So here we are tightening it up. I can feel it getting tighter.
That's how you use it.
As we go along. And I hope that chip too doesn't allow any foreign
You're making fun of me?
funguses or anything else to migrate into the inner workings of the lens itself, or I won't be a happy camper. Well, I'm definitely not a happy camper with just the fact that it's cracked in the first place.
Giant twerp, scumbag, fuckface, dickhead, asshole.
All right, so last part is putting the faceplate back in. And again, lays in there, screw it in place. And hopefully that faceplate actually acts as a little barrier. And my rubber ring to tighten it up. Yeah, good. All right. Oh, 10 times better. You know, again, you probably can't tell from there, but hey, it's 10 times better than it was. It actually looks like my other Topcor now, which again looks sweet. I'm happy with it. All right, so that was the disassembly, cleaning of the lens, breaking of the lens. By the way, I was going to remind myself of that. Way to go, Mr. Dr. Scott. Mr. Dr. Scott.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I broke my lens. Jesus. Anyway, so, oh no, yeah, it's still visible, that chip along there. Way to go, mister. Well, I'm going to have to protect that. Maybe I'll put a UV lens on top of here, to UV filter on top too. Again, just to protect this part of the lens. Anyway, so that's the assembly. disassembly, cleaning, breaking, reassembly. And now let's get back to. So we've cleaned our RE Auto Topcor 58mm 1.4, looking all spiffy and brand new, except for that freaking little chip out of the glass there. What the fuck? Good God. Can't believe that happened. Went from cleaning something up so that it retains its value to be able to resell it if I have to someday, to now, good luck selling it for anybody. You know, if they discover there's a chip in the glass, they're going to say, oh, no thanks. Anyway, so I guess this is my lens for life. Hey, I'll leave it in my will for Dylan. He can grow up and use the RE Auto Topcor 58mm 1.4 and enjoy it.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 No.
That's right. This baby is an excellent piece of glass, except for the chip. Just like my other one. But luckily I have two, so I could always, I'll take some shots with this and see if it actually has any impact on the rendition or not. I suspect not, because it's right on the very edge, but still, since I know it's there, it's going to bother me the whole time, going, God, good God, what have I done? Anyhow, so that is the that's a little how to clean your Topcor and how not to chip chunks of glass out of your front element. Hard lesson, but it's a lesson better that I do it than you do it.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm here for. That's why my students pay me all the big bucks, to be their teacher.
My parents don't spend $15,000 a year for recess.
What, you want to learn something?
Yes, I do.
What, you want me to teach you something? You want to learn something?
So anyway, can I recommend you clean your own glass? Sure.
Yes.
Why not? You know, it's not that hard. Just be gentle. Obviously, that fate was just waiting for me to tap that into my hand, and voila, cracks the damn and chip the glass off of there. Anyway, chip off of the old block, as they say. But anyhow, yeah, clean your own vintage lenses. You know, you don't have to pay other people to do it. Now, some funky ones, you got some, you know, there's some other brands out there. You know, the QBRs and stuff, and some of the Zeiss ones can be pretty tricky. But for the most part, you know, like your Helios and stuff like that, piece of cake to take those things apart and put them back together again. There's only like 3 or 4 parts to them. Anyhow, so boo-hoo to the chipped glass. While I got you here, how about I get you to support our channel? And I say our because Dylan's part of this, but he's not here. And you subscribe. Yeah, come on. Subscribe. And in case you didn't get the first hint with these two, how about a double finger subscribe? That's right. And besides subscribers, what else does YouTube like? Because of course, the more subscribers you have, the more you're exposed out there to other viewers. Well, besides that, they also like the thumbs up, right? So normally Dylan will be here to go, yeah, thumbs up. He digs the thumbs up girls. So you give us a little thumbs up and we'll give you the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up. Do 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 do. Thumbs up. Aren't they cute? Wink wink, nudge nudge, wink wink. So thumbs up. So subscribe, thumbs up, greatly appreciated. Hey, if you're in the market for any photo editing software, I use Luminar. Luminar, I have AI. I don't think they sell AI anymore, even though AI is the thing. But AI married up with Luminar 4 created Luminar Neo, which is what they sell these days. And it's economical. It's under $100.
Cheap bastards.
If you want to save $10, click in the description below. There's a link. Click on that link. It'll take you to Luminar. Well, it'll take you to Skylum, the name of the company. The product is called Luminar, and you can buy it, and it'll take $10 off, so you get a discount. And what do they do with that $10? Well, they give it to me because I just told you about it, right? So that's my kickback. So anyway, do that if you're in the market for it. Anyhow, it's got all kinds of AI. Speaking of AI, there's spot dust removal for those annoying spots out there. Like it can look at your, like if you take a picture at the beach and there's seagulls off in the distance flying around, and then you got sea spray or something on your sensor, and now you got these spots on your thing. It could recognize the difference between spots and a flock of seagulls. No, not those ones. The real seagulls. It'll know the difference and it won't remove them. So that's pretty cool, right? AI can figure that stuff out. How about power line removal? Nothing worse than annoying power lines going through your scene as you're taking a shot of the the Alamo or something down in Texas, or the Colosseum in Rome, and then you have these power lines going through. Well, AI or Luminar AI can recognize those power lines and remove them for you, so you don't have to brush them out and everything. And it's got a bunch of other funky AIs too. You can discover those yourself. So anyway, get yourself a copy. And other than that, well, who are we? Well, Dylan was here. He'd be Dylan. I'm Dr. Scott.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
And together we are Modesty Photography. So we're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, like today's lesson about cleaning and chipping your lens glass. And we talk about lenses, we talk about camera systems, we talk about really just about anything to do with photography. Mostly about lenses, though, because I got a buttload of them, as you can see up here. And so we talk about those all the time. But anyway, why should you come back? Because you belong here. That's what I tell my students. And where do you belong? Well, this was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. And normally Dylan, who's outside staying out of trouble so he doesn't touch my lenses. And you think I was bad by breaking one of the lenses. You can imagine if he was helping me. Key, smash, smash. There'd be the end of that. So anyhow, come on back next week. We do one of these every Friday. Remember, it's Vietnam time, so it could be the day before you, the day after you, the same day as you. It just depends on the funky time you're in. So other than that, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the thumbs up. And thank you for just being you. All right, that's the end of that. You're free to go. All right, see you next week. All right, bye-bye.
Here I am,